Hello and welcome to Manchester Global School podcast. I'm Sudheer Reddy. I'm the Executive Director of Marketing and Admissions here at the school. We are here all joined by some amazing panelists. So I'm excited to bring you a really exciting episode today, which is Life Beyond Grade 10, a parent's guide to future ready education.
And I'm your co-host, Ms. Shivathmika Reddy. I've just completed my grade 10 and I'm here pursuing IBDP at Manchester Global School. I've firsthand experienced how exciting and overwhelming the transition of grade 10 to grade 11 can be. In today's episode, we'll be talking about just that. What comes next after grade 10? An exciting yet often confusing for our students and our parents. And we're here to make that step a little clearer.
Thank you, Shivathmika. It's so exciting to have you today. Join us as a student and also especially from the IBDP program. We'll explore the opportunities that are ahead for grade 10 students, especially going beyond the textbooks and also be, global citizen ready. Today we are joined by two incredible leaders who have played a pivotal part in the field of education and shaping the vision and also the direction of Manchester Global School. Please welcome Dr. Kondal Reddy, founder chairman of Manchester Global School, a visionary leader and a passionate advocate of holistic education. Dr. Reddy has been instrumental in establishing MGS as a center of academic excellence and also innovation. He has spent more than 20 years in United Kingdom and last of which he was a Deputy Vice Chancellor for the University of Greater Manchester. He was also conferred with the MBE title by the Queen herself. Welcome, Dr. Kondal.
Thank you, Sudhir, and I'm looking forward to today's episode. Firstly, let's congratulate all the students who graduated from their CBSE 10th grade with flying colors. It's exciting for them now with so many opportunities in terms of after CBSE 10th grade. I'm sure parents are proud about their children's achievements in terms of CBSE 10th grade, and they will be looking forward to their 11th in terms of their intermediate education. That's what it's called in India. So there are so many opportunities for people who just passed out 10th grade. There is CBSE, they can go into 11th, but there's also IB Diploma Programme, an internationally recognized diploma, 11th and 12th classes. So parents, I'm sure, are considering so many opportunities for their children, thinking which way to go. But I'm sure this episode between us, we should be able to give some advice, suggestions to you, to the students who just passed out their CBSE 10th grade, but also the parents who are exploring opportunities for their children. So the world is full of opportunities in terms of 11th and 12th grade, but what is best for you and your children, and that is the key. And this is what all we're going to be talking about today.
We're also joined by Mr. Anthony Wright, our IB principal. With over 20 years of experience in education, Mr. Tony has helped hundreds of students through the IBDP journey, helping hundreds of students discover their potential and preparing them for universities all across the globe. Welcome, Mr. Tony.
Thank you, Shivathmika. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here and to have been able to be part of a journey for so many students. I think it's going to be a really interesting conversation because this is a conversation that's not just happening here in this room, it's a conversation that many families are having right now, and it's one that can be quite challenging for them at times. For many students, the results that they will have received in the last few days will be overjoying and they'll be filled with confidence with the high scores that they've got. But we also understand that there will be students who may be looking at those results with a little bit of disappointment. And for many of those parents, this time will be quite a challenging time in terms of working out what to do next. The plans may not be where they wanted them to be. And one of the great things about the International Baccalaureate Diploma is that it's designed so that any student can take part in it and can flourish in it. It suits students who have a desire to learn in a way that may not be the conventional rote learning exam-based way. And that enables it to be more appealing and more accessible to a wider body of students. Those that can flourish and get great scores will do remarkably well, but there are just as many opportunities for those students who may find the traditional exam-based learning more of a challenge. So I'm hoping that over the course of this conversation, we'll be able to shift the way that we look at it from just purely about marks and grades and move it on to the idea of mindset for the future and a mindset of resilience and preparedness for what can lie ahead at university, in entrepreneurial projects of their own, and of that wider life, broader life spectrum that comes beyond conventional education.
A big congratulations to the families and the students who have, passed the grade 10. So it's a big, big milestone. So looking forward to, you guys achieving great, heights in the future. So all the best.
Many students feel unsure at this stage. What would you say to those not scoring top marks?
Yes, I think marks in CBSE 10th grade is only one part of it. I think there are opportunities for all the students across all grade levels. I think more important is what they want to do from now, what kind of curriculum they want to choose, what kind of school or college they want to join for their 11th grade, what kind of subjects they want to choose. So there are more opportunities today than 5 or 10 years ago for those students who are passing out with their CBSE 10th grade. You could have passed with 80% marks, you could have passed with 60% marks, but looking at your own strengths, the students, what strengths, they can actually choose a right curriculum, but also at the same time right subjects, and they can focus on their strengths and build upon from there. So the opportunities there are fantastic opportunities for every student depending on their strengths in terms of their subject, communication skills, language skills, and so on and so forth. So yes, even if somebody did not score very, very highly, there are absolutely fantastic opportunities, especially if you take IB, International Baccalaureate Diploma Programme. It has opportunities for students across all levels, whether you want to study business, economics, mathematics, physics, chemistry, whether you are looking for career in engineering, medicine, commerce, accountancy, arts, all of these aspects. So I would suggest that students who scored a bit low than what they have expected, they still have fantastic opportunities. So nothing to lose their heart on, but I think it's time to focus and choose the right pathway from here.
Okay, Tony, this is the interesting question for you. I know it comes a lot. So the big challenge is, when parents are asking about, okay, we are from a different curricula. Could it be, it could be CBSE, it could be ICSE, state syllabus, but they want to move into IB. So what do you say, how parents and the students can cope to this new challenge?
So yes, that question does come up. The transition from other curricula, whether it's CBSE, State Board, ICSE, moving into the IB Diploma. The IB Diploma is known as being a very rigorous programme. Universities love it because it's expansive and covers a range of subjects. Every student has to do 6 subjects, but it's rigorous. Students are expected to perform with a high degree of knowledge and expertise in that range of subjects. And therefore parents and students will have anxiety around that step across from curriculum to curriculum. There's also, a reasonable amount of new vocabulary because we talk about assessment differently. Because the IB doesn't focus on traditional exams, there's things like internal assessments, there's the extended essay, theory of knowledge, and that can come across as quite daunting. But having been working in international schools since 2008 that are IB focused, I've worked with students adapting in curriculum in the Czech Republic, in the Swiss system, and coming into the IB and supporting that transition and learning the IB diploma language from day one. Or even in a bridge program like we've set up here, learning the IB language from several weeks before we start the courses. And being able to work with the students to understand that gives them an added confidence, but it also enables us as a school to know their strengths and weaknesses really well as we go on to the adventure of the learning. I think that one thing that we really focus on in transitioning the students across from CBSE is understanding that the skill set of examination technique is still important. The IB Diploma still has exams at the end of grade 12. So there are strengths that they come with, there's a lot of learning to do on the way. But having done this in India specifically since 2016, I know how to prepare the teachers to prepare the students ready for success.
Much, Tony. It was great. Especially at our school, we saw in the first year, 80% of the students who joined IB program were from other curricula. And this year, I think we are looking at 90%. So the bridge course program definitely helped. So thank you for that. Shivathmika, I have a question for you. So I know you went through the IB IBDP Bridge Program. So was it hard transitioning from, I know you are from ICSE, so how was the whole transition to IB?
Although it was very challenging, I would say the teachers here were very open and supportive. And everyone is just so welcoming that it was really easy for me to learn and, just approach IB really easily.
Great. That's amazing.
And I would say the experience has been very liberating for someone who has always, been into the traditional way of education, like book knowledge, theory knowledge and stuff. But this is very new to me to actually enhance my skills.
That's really good to know. I mean, it is warming for us to understand, what are the bridge program that, we implemented really helped a lot of students, who joined the bridge program. So thank you.
Yeah, as Tony and also Shivathmika said, regarding diploma program being open, flexible, and a wide array of choice, that's what Manchester Global School is also about. We founded Manchester Global School with a key vision of creating growing pioneers, leaders, entrepreneurs, pathbreakers. And I think the diploma program is absolutely central to that vision, the IB Diploma Programme. Now, a lot of parents may be thinking the traditional careers of medicine, engineering, computing, and so on and so forth. But the IB Diploma definitely provides those opportunities, but also it goes much beyond that. There are so many opportunities today. So if you look at the world, the changing world, rapidly changing world with AI, robotics, and so many new fields coming up, and old careers disappearing, the new opportunities emerging from this revolution of AI and robotics, I think we need to think very, very deeply in terms of what kind of choices in terms of curriculum, whether it's 11th grade, what kind of school you would join. So if you look at Manchester Global School, we focus on three important things. One, obviously, is world-class education with great teachers. We have fantastic teachers for IB Diploma Program, whether you take business, economics, whether you take physics, chemistry, mathematics. For most of the subjects, we have already recruited fantastic teachers who are already teaching on our bridge program, like Shivathmika has highlighted. Secondly, after world-class education, the holistic development. And I want to say a few words here, because the traditional mindset of, if you're really good at math, science, English, biology, if you score great grades, that's really good. But because of the changing world, you require holistic development. Great communication skills, people skills, financial literacy, how to take the pressures of life and work, how to be a lifelong learner. Now, these core holistic development attributes are central for Manchester Global School, and we embed these life skills into our diploma program. Whether you choose mathematics, physics, chemistry, or mathematics, physics, biology, or you choose economics, business, doesn't matter which subject you choose, at Manchester Global School we try to inculcate the core life skills, and that is very, very important at Manchester Global School. The thirdly, core values. Now, the children need to be taught, especially during these transitional years after 10th grade, they need to be taught the importance of long-term thinking, importance of hard work, importance of getting committed to a field, whether it's science, technology, medicine, and Manchester Global School will always encourage those core values so that they pass out with a diploma program and go to great universities across the world, India and abroad, and have great careers in life after that. So that's why we think Manchester Global School can offer a great platform for studying IB Diploma Program.
Coming back to you, Tony, I know we discussed about students transitioning from other curricula to IB. Now, one question I have is regarding the academic support. So what kind of support can the MGS teachers lend to the students when they are coming from the traditional curricula like the state, ICSE or CBSE? And how do we blend the global best practices with the core Indian values?
So in order to create the kind of ecosystem and environment where the students can flourish, it's really important that the teachers are approachable. So the first part of creating that environment is making sure we get the right teachers that the students can come and talk to, because we want the students to get the questions answered. There are going to be differences. I've said that the difference in approach to assessment will take explaining, and it needs the students to feel confident enough to go and talk to the teachers directly. And that's quite different to many CBSE schools where that culture of approaching the teachers with questions isn't as straightforward as we need it to be in the IB. I think looking at finding teachers who have a very broad mindset, that are coming from a range of different backgrounds and experiences, whether it's teaching in other countries or coming from different states across India, helps to create that environment because they've got different perspectives. And it means that those students that come to us for boarding from around India will also have people they can connect with, people who know where they're coming from. And again, that helps make them feel at home. It helps them better approach that coming out with questions with confidence. So I think those two elements are key to the transition. I think the ongoing support throughout the programme requires the kind of social emotional counselling services that we can provide, the full-time university counsellor on site that the students can go up to and ask questions relating not just to the IB diploma, but to their future beyond that. And I think that those are the key areas and elements that we need to create. Additional things for our boarders, for example, having access to the teachers in the evening when they're on duty, having access to the library and the college counselling, not quite round the clock, but on a much more available basis than they would find in a conventional school. I think those kind of opportunities are what make us very unique. So Dr. Kondal, would you like to add a few more points from a university perspective?
Yeah, thanks, Tony. I think, as I said, the children who just passed out with their 10th grade, now the parents will be choosing about what kind of universities they want to go to, what kind of undergraduate degree, because that will influence what kind of subjects they choose in the 11th grade or IB Diploma Programme. So I have spent almost over 20 years in higher education in the university world. Most of it was in the UK. So Manchester Global School, the way we designed the ecosystem for IB Diploma students is not only we got the best teachers in the subject, whether it's economics, business, maths, physics, chemistry, we also have a continuous counseling program where students throughout their 11th and 12th grade, IBDP 1 and IBDP 2, they will be counseled in terms of where they want to go after the diploma program, whether they want to study engineering in India, or whether they want to study medicine abroad, whether they want to go for an economics degree combined with statistics. So there are so many opportunities after the IB diploma once they get graduated with the IB diploma. So throughout these 2 years, we prepare them for the subject knowledge in the subjects they have chosen, but also give counseling in terms of where the strengths lie for this student and which is the best undergraduate degree for them, and where are the best opportunities for pursuing their undergraduate degree in terms of whether it's engineering, medicine, whether it's economics, accountancy, arts. So we prepare the students and also will interact with the parents as well to see what is best for that student depending on the strengths we observe throughout the diploma program. At Manchester Global School, we also make sure that the students have opportunity to prepare for university entrance exams, whether they are going abroad. So we will train on IELTS. We'll also provide resources for exams such as SATs to go to US, and also will provide opportunities and resources to prepare for MSET and other things for the Indian entrance exams. So this is quite important because the ecosystem at Manchester Global School enables the students to prepare not only for the diploma program, but also what happens after that. Going for the best possible undergraduate degrees, but also best universities within India and across the world.
Thank you, Dr. Kondal. That was really informative.
Tony sir, let's start with the big question. What exactly sets the IBDP program apart from the traditional systems of education like CBSE and ICSE?
So very good question. What sets the IB apart? The IB is not just about the academics, although there are 6 subjects required, 6 very different subjects. English is in the first group, then a second language, which we offer either French, Hindi or Spanish. Then a humanities-based subject, which could be business management, it could be economics, could be psychology. Within the sciences, they must choose a science, so biology or chemistry or physics or computer science or environmental science is another option there. Then there is maths. There are 2 different maths courses, and the students would choose whether they want to do a very theoretical maths or a much more practically minded maths course. And then in the 6th and final block, there is the option to do an arts-based subject, either visual art or music, or a student could replace that with an additional science or another humanities-based subject. There are special circumstances where a 3rd science would be offered if a student wanted to go on to do medicine specifically here in India. But that's a unique diploma that has to be applied for. In addition to that, there's the extended essay, a 4,000-word research paper of university standard, which no other curriculum requires. There's the internally assessed work, portfolios of coursework, including scientific experimentation with evaluation and analysis of some very detailed results. There's the theory of knowledge, the way that we know the information that we know. How do we know the things that come up in our lessons? And this is almost like a philosophy of learning, and it enables students to go off to university with a much richer understanding of what it is that they're studying and why we study it. And then there's the creativity, action and service. This is all about giving students real life experiences of project management, of event management, and using the skills that they learn through the curriculum to make a difference, to do something impactful, and ideally to serve the community and make it a better place. So all of that built into one educational philosophy makes it comprehensively different to any curriculum that I've come across around the world.
Tony, just to add to what you just said, I think parents listening to you would see there's so many great opportunities and options in IB Diploma Programme, but also they might be a little bit confused what to choose. So at Manchester Global School, our DP coordinator, our teachers, and also our counselors will help the parents and the students to go through those options and help them to pick what is the best combination for them. So if you are in doubt, please do come to Manchester Global School and meet our DP coordinator, our principal, but also our teachers, so that you can choose what's best for your child.
Kondal sir, for families exploring options after class 10, what makes the IB Diploma Programme a distinctive and valuable choice compared to traditional systems like CBSE, both academically and in preparing students for the future?
Yeah, Shivathmika, I think that's a fantastic question. I think what makes IB different and apart from CBSE, ICSE and other curricula is its global connect. Now, the curriculum that's designed IB is delivered across the world, not only for preparing them for a great undergraduate programs, but also preparing for them for life. As Tony said, it's just not reading and memorizing and writing exams in the subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics, but also theory of knowledge, projects. All of these are embedded into the IB Diploma Programme. Doesn't matter which subjects you choose. So they're embedded so that they're prepared for life, not just for a university degree. So they prepare real life skills, practical applications, working in teams, working independently, being a lifelong learner, but also taking control of their own learning. It's not always the teacher tells something and IB Diploma student learns something. They learn a lot on their own. So the system prepares the student to be an independent learner, but also prepares them for not only a good undergraduate degree and a university, but also prepares them for a life, for various career choices. And I think that is very, very exclusive to the IB Diploma Programme. And I have seen many curricula, not only the CBSE and other curricula in India, but also A-levels in the UK and so on. But I think that IB provides that broad global link and also reach in terms of skills, the undergraduate opportunities, the university opportunities, but also preparing for them a great career and a great life. I think all of that makes IBDP special, I would say.
Two quick things I'd like to add to that. I think the IB allows the teachers to develop examples and case studies that are relevant to the local setting, as well as bringing international perspective as well. So you can write about your case studies here in Hyderabad, while somebody who is learning in Boston in the US can write about similar case studies in the US and get the same kind of scores on their exams. So that freedom for the teachers to use local and global context is very important. And I think the second point there is that the philosophy, the way that the IB thinks about this, is to allow that freedom of thought, that students can use their own opinions and their own ideas depending on the geographical and personal and religious context of where they are, which is very, very helpful for students.
Mr. Tony, could you share a bit about the kinds of pathways that open up after the IBDP and where this journey typically leads students beyond school?
I think that there are also a great number of students that have gone off to performance schools. They've gone off to catering and culinary colleges. They've gone off to design institutes, including some of the best design schools in the world. The IB creates a pathway that's unique to the individual. So as well as those students that are very clear on the pathway that they want to follow, it's also really good for those students who may be a little bit undecided. Those students that need pathways or doors to be kept open, they can choose their favourite subjects. They can choose the subjects that they're good at to get their grades up. And that will keep doorways open to many, many universities around the world, including the top ones if they work hard enough. So it's a case of being a programme or a pathway to university that doesn't close doors. It keeps lots of doors really wide open. And I think because it's very much up to date, the programmes, the courses for each subject are updated every 5 or 6 years, it stays very relevant, and universities love that. And that's why the graduates that go off to many of the US universities, they'll often be given additional credits. That means that they might not need to go to so many classes in the first year, and why so many students, for example, in my previous school in Mumbai, of 108 students, they managed to acquire over $9 million of scholarships because they had good IB scores. And I think that shows that pathways are wide open in all sorts of areas, but it also shows that students that do the IB diploma are in demand.
Thank you, Tony. And Shivathmika, we are so proud, you joining recently the IB Diploma Programme and, raising your hand, being proactive and, taking part of in this podcast. So I do have one question for you. What inspired you to join the DP program here at Manchester Global School?
Honestly, I wanted more than just memorizing for my marks. IB lets me explore real life questions and actually apply what I learn. Although it was very challenging, but it ended up actually being much more helpful, I would say, and also exciting.
Okay. I would ask one thing, what are some of the aspects that were maybe challenging but also made you excited about this bridge program?
It wasn't necessarily challenging, but it helped me get out of my comfort zone. Cool. In terms of being more logical, as personally I am much more, and helped me become a better person to face the outside world.
So again, Shivathmika, what part of this whole journey did you enjoy the most?
Probably CS, because I'm currently working with my friends on a mental health awareness campaign. It feels very good to contribute and not just learn beyond books. And also, as Tony sir earlier said, it opens such a broad of a spectrum. I'm someone who was never really interested in robotics, and it has really opened my mind and taught me about myself, about how I could learn and actually be, interested in a completely different field. And even for sports, I'm never someone who likes sports. But I discovered it doesn't have to be so rigorous, but actually fun and can be really enjoyable.
I totally agree with what just Shivathmika has said. I think at Manchester Global School, the institution provides so many opportunities, not just in academic fields, but also in extracurricular activities like Model United Nations, robotics, artificial intelligence, along with activities in sports. We have 14 different sports. As Shivathmika said, she was not that much interested into sports before she came. But here, looking at so many opportunities, whether it's badminton, swimming, football, basketball, tennis, all those aspects, so that you may not, be really at the front end of the sport, but you may just play for fun. But the opportunity is here at Manchester Global School to experience all of that. Doesn't matter which subjects you choose. So I think this is, in addition to your, general subject knowledge of IB Diploma Programme. So I'm glad that Shivathmika has enjoyed within the last 3-4 weeks of the IB Bridge program.
What kind of environment does a school need to create for students to truly thrive in the IB Diploma Programme? And how is MGS meeting that commitment?
So this is where, with my background as a neuroscientist, I can bring the knowledge of how the brain works, the adolescent brain, the learning brain, how we're addressing the needs of that to make it a great environment for learners. You've got to take into account well-being. Being in a safe environment allows people to learn really well. It gives the space for safe failure, failing forward, learning from mistakes, and that's genuinely the best way to learn anything. I think when we talk about our boarding houses and our environment for the boarders, making sure that all students get sufficient sleep. It's no wonder that students struggle with retention of information for exams if they're not getting enough sleep. So making sure that our routines are built around healthy food, healthy lifestyle, good amounts of exercise, and lots of sleep helps to develop a really strong routine for learning. So those are really pivotal things that we really focus on. I think making sure that students are aware of the options for their future and that they're choosing things that they're passionate about really helps them to motivate themselves. Because no matter how motivated the staff team are or the board, it essentially comes down to how hard each student works as to how successful they will be. So making sure that they get those choices right by working with our coordinators and counsellors is really important to driving that motivation. And then making sure that the opportunities that we present through the amazing infrastructure and facilities, through the amazing teachers and staff that we've got, provides the human support. It gives the soft skills for them to learn from, to bring in their own soft skills to their learning, because that's what will set them apart in addition to great academic grades. So there's a lot of things that we've already very much focused on in the setup of our school so far.
I think what you just said, Tony, is quite important. I would like to add one more key point in terms of what we provide. I would like to highlight the particular aspect of individual attention that we provide at Manchester Global School. Whether a student has chosen arts, design, computing, or maths, physics, chemistry, or maths, business, economics, doesn't matter which combination of subjects in IB Diploma they have chosen, we make sure that we provide that individualized support and attention to each student. We have very small class sizes so that we are not filling our classes with 50-60 students where nobody knows other person. Because of our very good optimized small class sizes, we provide, or we will be able to provide, that individualized attention. So for example, a student may be struggling in physics, right? The teacher in the classroom should be able to identify very quickly what kind of additional support this particular student requires and provide that support immediately so that they don't fall behind. Or they may be having some personal issue. Our psychology counselor in the school, she might be able to help. So it's really important at Manchester Global School that every student goes forward in their learning and also overall development. And if they are struggling with their subject knowledge or other matters, we should be able to identify that they are struggling and we will provide that additional support that they require. So that individualized attention is very critical, because the intermediate education, the DP or 11th and 12th class, it's very transformative years for any student, whether it's a boy or a girl. And at our school, we want to create that ecosystem where they really excel both in subjects and also in learning life skills. So I think we would like to highlight that part where individualized attention is very critical thing for our students. And I would say that Manchester Global School, we are really committed to make sure that happens for every student.
So Tony, talking about the students who are probably looking for an opportunity to join here for a DP program at Manchester Global School, what kind of a process do they need to go through so that they can look at this as an opportunity?
Well, the first step is to contact our admissions team. Our admissions team will start them on a counselling process with discussions with the school about the background. We'd be asking for copies of the CBSE results or last year's school report. They would also take an assessment, a cognitive ability assessment, which gives us as a school information about their strengths in their learning and any gaps that we need to fill based around their skill set, not about their ability to memorise for an exam. And that will give us information comparing them to students around the world about which subjects will be a good fit for them in the IB diploma, and give my teachers strategies to help them in their learning, to identify any areas that we can really push and guide them on, but also where we can stretch them to even higher grades and where we can expect to get the best out of them. Based on that, we'll then talk to the families about the actual subjects that they choose, and then of course it'll be the start of the courses in July.
Thanks, Tony. I think the process is quite simple, as Tony suggested. The CBSE grades followed by a cognitive ability test, but also will help both the parents and the students to make their subject choices. Our IB teachers and coordinators will help the students to make the subjects, whether it's maths, physics, chemistry, maths, physics, economics, or business, design, arts. The grades plus the cognitive ability test, but also the interview with our counselors, our DP coordinator will help the student and their parents to make the right choice for their course.
For families still on the fence, what makes the IB experience at Manchester Global School truly unique, and why should they come visit and see it for themselves?
Well, there are so many options out there. I think that the whole approach to this has to be to get out there and find what feels like the right fit. When they come to visit our community and they get to know more about what we have to offer in terms of the infrastructure and the opportunities, more importantly when they meet our teachers and see the amazing work that those teachers have done by meeting our already incredible student body, I think they'll get a very good sense of where we are and where their students could be on their journey to a very exciting future, not just developing their academics, but also developing their leadership skills, their entrepreneurial skills, and really being prepared for a very, very exciting future full of technology, full of challenges, in a very, very changing world, and that's going to be really, really important. And I think we're well and truly ready for that here at Manchester Global School. So, Dr. Kondal, what would you say to families who are still weighing up their options about the IB?
If you are in two minds which way to go, I strongly suggest to come here, meet us, look at our campus, look at, meet the teachers, the IB Diploma coordinators, the principal. I think it really helps you to understand what we have and what we have to offer. Whether it's science-based diploma program you want to choose, or arts, business, doesn't matter. If you come to the campus, then you'll be able to see in real what we have. Whether it's subject-based, whether it's our entrepreneurship zone, our innovation zone, our labs, our sports facilities, all of this you will be able to see in real. I'm a father of a kid who just completed his diploma program. So he's planning to go to the US for his undergraduate degree. So I can tell that, do your research, visit the schools, analyze it very clearly, meet the principal, teachers, diploma coordinators, and then make a decision. And for that, visiting the campus is very, very critical. Meeting the teachers is very critical. So that you are first-hand, you should experience what your child is going to go through. And I think, for the students who are planning to join diploma program, it gives a fantastic opportunity to actually test drive before you join. I think that's quite important. So I totally agree with you. Like Shivathmika has also said, experiencing first-hand is the best way before you make a decision.
Thank you so much for joining us. I know it was, a very informative session, a lot of myths debunked, and I know it's kind of a challenging but also exciting times for all the students who have just passed grade 10. and the future definitely is bright, and there's a lot of opportunities. So I would like to thank our panelists. Thank you so much, Dr. Kondal, for joining us, and also Tony, and also our wonderful student who joined us today and gave her experience at Manchester Global School. So one thing I would say is, if you have any questions regarding any programs at Manchester Global School, or how we do things here differently, you want to know more about our diploma program, our admission counselors are here. You can come, interact with them, and as Dr. Kondal said, our teachers and the coordinators are also available for any questions that you have. You can also check us out on manchester.glo. So our URL, one more time, it's www.manchester.glo. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and look forward to see you all at Manchester Global School, and would like to welcome you for our IB Diploma Programme, and congratulations again to all grade 10 students. Look forward to see you.
And remember, education today is not solely about the marks or the ranking. Although they hold certain significance, it's all about striving to become the best version of yourself.